In this example, we're going to have a look at expanding expressions with two brackets in them using our grids to help us. So what we need to do is we need to have a look at our expressions and see we've got two brackets. The first bracket is going to be written along the top side of our grid. So the first term is x. We write an x here on our grid. We've done the x. Our next term is 5. It's positive, so we just write positive 5 on this top of the square on the top of the grid. Then we have a look at the second set of brackets, and they get written down the side of our grid. So the first term is 2x, we write 2x here. And the second term is 6, so we write 6 here. Now to help us expanding our expressions, we expand each pair together and we write the answer in the box. So the first multiplication we do is 2x times x. So we know 2x times x will be 2. We multiply the numbers together first. Then x times x gives us x squared. So our first value of our expansion is going to be 2x squared. Then we have a look at the next square on our grid. This square will be 2x times 5. We multiply our numbers together first. 2 times 5, which is 10. And then the x, 10x. 2x times 5 gives us 10x. Then we come down here and we're going to have 6 times x. 6 times x is 6x. And then we come to our last square and we have 6 times 5. 6 5s are 30. So now we have 4 expanded terms. We need to add them together. So our expression here is going to be equal to 2x squared from the first box plus 10x from the next box plus 6x plus 30. So we write all the terms from all 4 boxes added together. Now there's one last step. We need to look for our like terms. Now these are the terms with exactly the same variables or letters in them. We can add them together. So we can see in the middle here we have a 10x and a 6x. They're both x terms, so we can add them together. We can't add them with the x squared because this term has been squared. It's not a like term. The letters are not exactly the same. So our 2x squared stays as it is, plus 10x plus 6x. 10 plus 6 is 16, so we have 16x plus 30. So that is our expression, x plus 5, 2x plus 6, expanded out into expanded form. Let's have a look at another example. This one has a negative number in it. So we start by setting up our grid just like before. Our first term, x, goes on the top of the grid, and then the next term, 6, goes next to it. X plus 6, x and 6. Then down the side, we put our x term first. And here we have a negative 2. Now, when it's a negative number, we need to bring the minus down with it. We need to write it as negative 2. It's different to all the positive terms, which we can just write as they are. When it's a negative term, we need to bring the minus with it. So we fill in our box. First, we have x times x, which is x squared. Then we have x times 6. X times 6, or 6 times x, is just 6x. Then we have x times minus 2. Now, just like when we did 6 times x and we wrote it 6x, when we do minus 2 times x, we write it minus 2x. And our last term will be 6 times negative 2. Now you can do this calculation in your calculator, or we know that a negative times a positive is going to give us a negative answer. And 6 times 2 is 12, so we'll have minus 12. You can always check that in the calculator. So now we write all of these terms added together. X squared plus 6x plus, oh, this one's negative. So instead of writing a plus, we'll write a minus. And the same with this one. Instead of putting a plus for the positive terms, we put a minus because it's negative, minus 12. Once again, we collect our like terms. We have a 6x and a minus 2x. They're both x terms, so they can combine together. We keep our x squared as it is. We have 6x, take away 2x. 6 take away 2 is 4. So we have positive, because it's positive 4, x, and then minus 12 on the end. So there you have it. Make sure you show all of your working out in the space provided and draw your grids to help you out with expanding expressions.